Banks are failing and the finance world is weird right now. Here's what it all means. So the bank failures really are a representation of our economy being pretty weird, really weird for everybody, weird for every business owner. We run a couple of businesses, so we're also navigating a lot of the weird things in the economy, like the labor market and things like that. And so in a weird economy with inflation, bank failures do freak people out, but really these banks actually, when you dive into it, they were niched in a particular type of industry, startups, and they just didn't run the business well. This is all of the things that came out when the government were saving these banks, or some of them were being purchased. I think right now in our economy, what we need to focus on is running our businesses well, and running our businesses well is more difficult now than it has ever been. So the problem with the niche that these banks were in, especially Silicon Valley Bank, is they were niched in venture capitalists, basically. So the bankers, some of them I think came from the venture capital world, so the bankers actually started to know the venture capitalists really well. And when those relationships start to get more personal, they just don't start checking things the way they should, basically. So they go off of a lot of their personal relationship, and come to find out that a lot of these bankers were not running the bank well. They were just relying on a lot of their personal relationships. We can't always apply failures like that necessarily to the economy and extrapolate that and think everything's going poorly. Though we know the economy is struggling, we can dive deeper and find out that bank was not being run well. So our goal in an economy is to run our businesses well, really now more than ever. So when I think about what it means to run a business well, so if you say, how do you run a business well? I can tell you things we see as patterns in a lot of coaching we do with entrepreneurs. And one thing is that they are not intentional. They get so busy, they become very reactive to their business. So being reactive in a business means you're at the mercy of all the things around you, the labor market, the economy. If it's bad, you just have to respond to a bad economy, basically. So what we always teach entrepreneurs to do is take time on their calendar to plan. And so intentionality, which is something you only do in the future. If somebody's trying to be strategic and intentional, it means they're trying to plan something to do in the future. So a lot of the tips and tricks we use with entrepreneurs to run a business well is to block something they're going to do in the future on their calendar. It's some kind of planning activity, some kind of strategy. And what that does is it starts to push them into more of a proactive model and a way to think about their life and their work and their business. And so they're beginning to plan more for the future instead of react to the present.